Hi, and welcome to Faith Talks, a program discussing issues relating to God, faith, and life today. In today's program, we'll be looking at the topic of community through gospel music. In the studio with me today, I have two ladies who are both directing community choirs in London and in Luton. Gail Windrass and Keron Rhamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell me first of all, Gail, why are you involved in music? When did it start for you?
I think I've always been involved in music my whole life. Coming from Birmingham, from a musical family and from a church which is very musical as well. And it's just been in my blood since then.
And what about you, Keron? Is music something new to you, or when did you start being involved with music and singing?
Gail sounds like my twin. I started literally, I think I came out of my mum's womb screaming and shouting and singing, and family worship was extremely important, and so I learnt to sing in harmony from the age of like 3, because by then I was the 6th child, and so I had to find my own part, you know. And then we have things called 13th Sabbath in our church, where every 13th Sabbath we perform, and so we'd either perform with poetry, and so mine was singing or playing the piano. So I played the piano from when I was 5 for some people, and sang my first solo at 6, so been always doing it.
So are you being paid to be a professional musician, or do you have another job as well?
Well, I'm very fortunate that I do music full time. I work at a school, and I also run a couple of other community choirs which are not gospel choirs, but I do always inject some gospel music into all the choirs that I work with.
Well, that sounds really interesting, but let's just hear from Keron. What about you? Do you work with music professionally as well, or have you done, or how is that for you?
Have done, didn't like it, left it. I'm a fraud investigator working for a local authority, so I investigate people subletting their homes unlawfully. So I'm the one people don't like to see if they've been breaking the law. But music has been always a sideline. I thought about going into it full time, didn't like it, and so stayed with my paid job and just got paid on the side.
So tell me, you obviously, Gail, are a music teacher involved in music on many different levels and running several choirs. Why are you running a gospel choir?
I thought it would be a great way to share my faith. Gospel music it's been such a part of my life, and it's been so inspirational for me. I wanted to share that with the community, and not in a way that was exclusive or just in my church. I wanted people to experience just the joy and the peace that I get from gospel music. I know a lot of people enjoy it, so that's how I got involved.
So are you saying don't have to be a member of your church to actually join your choir?
You don't even have to be a Christian. As long as you have a passion for music and curiosity, you may just want to give singing a go. That's what our community choir is about. Everybody is welcome.
So what about you, Keron? You're in London, in a fashionable part of London as well, Notting Hill. And what drives people to join a community choir there?
I got dragged kicking and screaming into doing it. I've always been asked to do choirs in my old church, and I tried to run away from it. And I ran all the way to Notting Hill, and my pastor found me and said, "I need you to be doing this." And I said, "No." And he said, "I need you to be doing this." And I said, "No." And then I did. And we put an advert in the paper, didn't know what would happen. And the Wednesday evening, so many people turned up, unchurched, churched, experienced, inexperienced. Some could sing, some couldn't sing. The mash of notes that exploded the very first night. I looked at Paul and went, I don't think we can do this. But it all came together. They're all still there. Most of them are still there, and they sound amazing.
So you're actually telling me, Keron, that as a musical person yourself and as a singer, you had to listen to people who were not trained singers? Are you saying that people joined a choir without being able to sing one tune?
No, they couldn't sing. Some of them couldn't sing. They knew they loved singing in the shower and around the house. I remember one person being criticised about not being able to sing, but she tentatively joined the choir anyway and was always looking for, you know, affirmation to say, can I do it? Can I do it? And, you know, we just train them. We have vocal exercises at the beginning and have them doing very weird sounds. And you do that as well?
We do that.
You know, and let them have fun with it. And then they realise quite quickly that if they can mimic something, if they can mimic even the tone of my talking voice, they can mimic my singing voice also. And they do it. And some at different paces, but I always work at the slowest pace. And I'm so proud of them.
You're nodding very much, Gail.
I agree with everything that you said. You know, people come and they have no singing experience. They just want to sing in a gospel choir.
Yeah.
A lot of people have actually dreamed, oh my God, I just can't wait to sing in a gospel choir.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great that we say to them, you don't even have to have sung at all, just come. You are welcome. You're part of the gospel choir family. And to see the transitions from when they start to a couple of months later, and if they're with the choir a few more years later, it's amazing. And also for them to see that, that's amazing. Some of them, you know, they wouldn't have been able to sing a solo, but a couple of months later, a couple of years later, they're singing solos, and for them themselves, they're like, wow, did I do that? That is liberating for a choir director, for other choir members. It really inspires people.
But you see, I wonder, you know, if you can't sing, if you haven't grown up in church, have no church background, why would you want to join a church choir? What are some of the reasons that people give you, Gail?
I think when they see gospel choirs, they see passion, they see joy, they see smiling. And a lot of choirs, it's very serious. You're standing like this, and this is a technique. And they don't see that in gospel choirs. They feel warmth, and people want to feel part of that. And I think that's what attracts people. As well as the singing, they want to improve. There's people that come that do want to improve their singing, and they think gospel choirs, they're noted for having amazing singers. If I join a gospel choir, then I'll improve my game as well and be an amazing singer.
What has been some of your biggest challenges, Keron, with the choir?
Getting them to sing in tune and singing together. And they're all from different backgrounds, from Russia, from Croatia, from America, and having all these voices to sing in exactly the same tone, in exactly using the same vowel sounds. And so one of the exercises that, you know, I was telling Gail before that we were doing was using vowel sounds, saying A, E, I, O, U, and just having them sound exactly the same. And that's the challenge. Sometimes the challenge is trying to get them to stop, because at 9 o'clock it's time to finish. I'm like, yeah, I need to go and get my child, and they're still going on. And sometimes, because of where the church is located, sometimes you get people coming in drunk, and I don't want to turn them away, but at the same time, they seem to be distracting the rest of the choir. However, even in their drunken state, I can still see joy on their faces while they're singing a song about God being crucified, you know, and there's so much passion in their voices. But that has been one of my most difficult challenges to date, asking them to leave.
It must be hard. What about you, Gail? What has been some of your more challenging in leading out community choirs?
It's a tricky question for me to answer, because what I thought was a problem, often after a few weeks, or you're like, oh, actually, it's not a problem anymore. One of our things was, oh, okay, we've got to find a venue for a performance, and the cost of all those kind of things. So you're always panicking. How are we going to find the money to hire a venue that's going to accommodate everyone, that's going to be able to have a band, and it's going to have a nice sound? But after, you know, when you find a venue, you realise it's not a problem. There is a thing about they don't want to go home. They just want to keep on singing.
Yeah.
And also, oh gosh, that's a really interesting question because, yeah, things that you think are problems now, few weeks, few months down the line, they're not problems anymore. So that's why I find it to...
But why do you think people don't want to go home after the practice? Because, you know, people have lives as well, and you got to get food, you know, got to stop by the kebab van or whatever it is people do. There must be something more than the singing that keeps the people there.
I think the sense of family. I think when you look around the world, people are looking to belong to something. And in choir, they belong to something. They belong to the soprano section. Yes. The sopranos have a little rivalry with the altos.
That's right,
and they're like, yeah, we're going to get our part. We're going to sing better than the altos. And that sense of belonging to something, I think that's what really keeps them, and they don't want to go home and wanting to come for the next rehearsal and the next rehearsal and emailing you, when's the next performance, when are we singing next, what's happening, I think, You're
talking about performance, both of you. Are you telling me you dare to perform publicly with a community choir that when they start, they can't even sing in one tune? How do you do that, Keron?
I don't know. I mean, our very first one, we had 7 weeks to get them up to par. We had 7 songs. And everyone was saying, you will not be able to do this. And I was like, watch this. And they did. We spent the first half hour literally just training their voices, sometimes an hour training their voices, so that it can be in sync with everyone else's, so they could be in tune. And we immediately gave them a date right at the beginning to say, this is what we're aiming towards. And so then they came out with all their recording devices, and they were so passionate about learning what they had to sing, and would ring me during the week and say, okay, can you sing this part for me? Because they were adamant they were going to get it. And come performance day, come Christmas, they smashed it. They were amazing.
And we do ours in 1 week.
Yeah.
So every day from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the performance on Saturday. And I think for the people joining it, we tell them when they join, you're going to do a concert at the end of the week. So they join the choir knowing that. I think it's just this big challenge, and they're like, really, do you think we're really going to do it?
Yes.
Tuesday, they're like, you think really? We're really going to do it? We've still got 3 songs to learn.
Yeah.
But come Friday, when they do the final rehearsal, and it's all in place, they themselves are just like, wow. And then the day of the concert, their family and friends are coming there. They are excited. It's brilliant.
So, Gail, are you telling me that you have a concert every Saturday night and you start a new choir every Monday night?
No, I would be dead if that was the case. What we tend to do is we do a big project either in the summer or in October, and that project runs for a week. And currently we're doing another project in another town, which is a 2-week project. And then in between that, once people have come to the concert, they ask the choir to come and sing at community events, charity events. So as we get events, then we do reschedule new rehearsals for the events that are coming up.
Is it easier to actually have those events and those performances as kind of a goal for the choir, do you feel?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So, and you also know who you're working with, because there's some people who can't make the date because they're going away, because our dates usually go around Christmas, Easter and in the summer. And those are the times when people usually go away on holidays. And so if we give them a date right at the beginning, say this is the date we're working for, they can say, I'm just going to sing in the choir and enjoy myself, but I won't be able to make the performance. And that way we know what we're working with. We take a break after each performance as well. But really, do we take a break? Because we still meet up and have pizza and have fun because we miss each other. It's an amazing family.
So you're actually telling me that you're doing other things together than singing?
Yes.
What else are you doing? Pizza eating, of course, but
Absolutely.
Anything else?
We would meet up and we might go cinema, because we're round the corner from Westfield Shopping Centre, so we'll go in there and eat. That's our favourite thing to do, eat. I mean, even after every church service, we eat. like crazy. And so sometimes we meet up at each other's homes as well. We just miss there's sometimes the gap between the next start date and our last performance date is a bit too long, sometimes about 6 weeks. So we think, yeah, I'm missing you a bit. And so we will just meet up together and have party or...
So basically what you are sharing here is that you've actually built a community around the choir. So it's not just a community choir with members from the community, but you become a community yourself. And that's, Gail, what you talked about, belonging. What difference does that make in people who are not used to going to church? What difference do you see that making in their lives?
I think sometimes the impressions that people have of Christians is we go to church on a particular day, we can be quite judgmental, and we are friendly to our group of fellow Christians, and it's a very exclusive club that you can't come into. And I think through community choir, we are showing people, no, we are just like you, you're part of our family, we're human, we have a laugh, and we are friends. I think that's what people are seeing as well.
Our church has a motto, we say no perfect people allowed. And going on from what you're saying, people think that they need to be perfect in order to come to church and in order to join a community choir. And they come and sometimes at the beginning we share our experiences during the week, and they will see how many times we've got angry and how many times we wanted to knock someone out. Do you know what I mean? And they'll be looking at us thinking, you're just like me. And yeah, we are. And one person said they weren't sure what they were coming into when they joined the choir, but it was somebody's hug that made them feel, oh, I want to stay here, because they felt genuine passion from the other members. And I don't know who gave who the hug, but you know, you had people who were saying they had difficulty saying the name Jesus because they believe in creator or universe or have no beliefs at all. But before you knew it, they were singing Jesus in the pubs and teaching people the songs that we were teaching them. And it's an amazing venture and project.
Yeah, I think also when people are going through things in their life, they now feel that they can come to, say, the church base where the choir is, and they know people there. They know the people in the church are real. They've got a connection there. So if they've got bereavements, that 1 week they're going to come to church, they're going to sit next to their other friends who they now have and feel part of a church community, and they don't feel like they're like this special guest that's come in for 1 week. They feel part of the family.
Absolutely, because we don't even advertise our church services to them. They ask us, so do you actually go to church? Because we rehearse in the church. And do you actually go to church? And so they come along to our services because they just want to hear more singing. And some of them have even joined our praise team to say, we'd like any opportunity to sing, I'd like to sing with you. I do believe the same thing that you believe, and it's inspiring me. You sing inspirational songs, you sing songs that makes me feel better, songs that makes me climb higher, makes me want to aspire to better. And we say, yeah, come along, and they do.
So you're actually seeing faith being kind of developed in people before they even might recognise what it is.
What it is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you share some of your experience, Gail, where you've seen God working through people in the choir or in situations with the choir?
Yes, definitely. Just like Keron, we say prayer, we have a devotion at the beginning of every rehearsal, and people have the opportunity to share, I don't know, how the song has affected them or just their general thoughts. And the things that choir members come back with, the way a song has inspired them, the way they can say, oh, you know, I was going through this today and I prayed and this is what happened. It's quite amazing, especially if someone's not a Christian, to have that experience, to say, oh, this was happening, God helped me through today. That is, for us as choir leaders, it's quite emotive, actually.
Yeah, because I find they inspire me. So you think that it's going to be one directional, that you're doing all the motivating, you're doing all the inspiring, and here's a song, this is really going to move you in this way. And they come back and they say to you, this is what the song did for me. For example, we did a song called I Just Can't Give Up Now. And for me, it's a song about pressing forward and whatever avenue your life is going in at the time, you just keep on going. And, you know, so I usually think about it emotionally. Whereas one choir member was going on a run and wanted to give up and reached the point where it was like, I'm not going anymore, I'm stopping right now. And then heard my voice saying, stop, don't give up, whatever you do, don't give up. And just started singing the song and just paced according to the rhythm of the song and made it through. And the person, Gail, actually told the whole church during performance day about that experience. I'm sure they won't mind me saying it here.
So you are actually touching on something that, whereas you as a choir leaders feel that you are the one going in motivating, you're going to go in doing a job or working or for the church or for God or however you want to define that. But you're actually telling me that you're getting something back?
Yeah, definitely.
What are you getting back?
You're getting back that sense of they're motivating you back. Because, you know, you've found a song and you've spent maybe a day going through lots of music, what song is going to be right for the choir. And for them to then come back to you and say, you know, that song is doing something for me, it's really inspiring me, for them to share their stories. Sometimes I feel like I should just give up. I'm tired, everything's going wrong. But then for a choir member to come back and say, actually, it's fine, it's fine. That is liberating me as well.
And seeing their eager faces.
Yeah.
Because we have the special privilege of being able to watch everyone's face. And even if you don't feel like it as a choir leader, seeing their faces and they're just eager and determined and so inspirational, just their facial expressions. And I think it's also a reminder that we're actually telling them the truth about God. That sometimes I can take the truth for granted, that God exists, that God loves you, that God thinks about you and you mean something to him. What you're going through specifically actually touches him. And I forget that sometimes, and because I just take it for granted. And because they're singing the truth and they're singing about this God, I shouldn't actually be shocked that he impacts their lives in the way that he does. But I'm always blown away by experiences that I hear from them.
So Gail, do you also feel, or do you feel that your faith has changed, or it has done something to your faith, hearing the stories of the choir members expressing and learning about God for the first time, maybe?
Definitely. Before I said, I think as Christians we have a tendency to be quite judgmental or to feel that I'm a Christian, I have this, and I'm kind of a bit better. You know, when I see the choir members, I start to realise just what God sees when he sees us. Yeah. We are all the same. That is very powerful for me.
Yeah.
You know, we are all the same. God loves every single person. Everybody is welcome. Everybody is valuable. A choir doesn't exist with a soloist. A choir exists because you've got a group of sopranos, a group of altos, a group of tenors, and that's how I feel that we should see our Christian experience. There's green people, purple people, there are people that are happy all the time, there are people that are happy 50% of the time, but we are all the same. God loves us exactly the same.
Both of your passion when you're talking about your community choir really shines through. And if I want to kind of explore going to a community choir, and I know I can't sing because everybody tells me so, what do I do? You know, why should I join, not necessarily your choirs, but why should I go and find a community choir? What do you think?
I think for the sense of family, for the sense of belonging, for the sense of also building confidence, for finding your place in something, for finding new friends, for being able to make a difference in your community. I think for community choirs, you can make a massive difference by fundraising, local charity events, being proud of your community, something to celebrate. Your choir is going to perform here. All the people from your local area, they do come out and they do support. I think the list is endless.
I think that there's a lot of people who go to work, come home. Go to work, come home. Might go to the pub, come home, go to work, and that's their life. And this gives them something else to do that they never ever dreamed they'd be able to do. Most of the people who perform never thought in their lives they'd ever perform in front of hundreds of people. And there they are, standing proud, elegant, looking amazing, and singing something that they've been told they can't do, something they've been told they shouldn't do, some of them. And they're allowed to express themselves in public, not just in the shower, not just at home, not just singing along in a karaoke machine, but they're allowed in public to just yell and just sing out.
Why do you keep going?
It's their faces. It really is. It's their eagerness. I thought I would just be doing the one. And that was 4 performances ago. I thought, yeah, I'll just do the one and then I'll stop. Just seeing their passion, seeing how determined they are, seeing how involved they are, seeing how they've started to make friends. They've got my telephone number, I've got theirs, and we share texts and we giggle, and knowing that you're making a difference, knowing they're making a difference also to me, to the community. How can you stop?
Well, indeed, how can you stop? Thank you to both of you for actually coming and sharing your experiences and your joy and passion for community choirs and for gospel choirs in particular. Thank you so much for actually watching us today. Why don't you join in the conversation either by sending us an email or joining us on Facebook? And we do want to encourage you to check out your local community choir. Thank you for watching.